the courage to say no. It does not interfere. It is a perfectly legitimate goal, and City have won right at the end by 2-1. Well, let's go back to the studio. Mick McCarthy, Keith Curle, your curse is over.
And they will be back at MatchDay Live. This time last year they were in the studio and Mick and Curle, Keith oversaw a defeat for Manchester City. It looked for all the world like it was going to be a draw for Manchester City away at Wolves. We have to react on that huge refereeing decision to overrule the VARs in his ear. Chris Kavanagh's gone to the monitor. What is your reaction to that, Mick?
I think they've gone up in my estimation because they always go to VAR, and once they give it, they show the square, the screen, they disallow it. He'd given the goal. He wasn't interfering with play. He's only 5'4" anyway, and he ducked out of his way.
He's about waist height.
I love that decision that he's made. He stuck to his guns, and it's the correct decision as well. It should be a goal. What really amazes me is that Keith Curle here just said John Stones winning. He scored. He called it.
Yeah. The decision, spot on. That's excellent refereeing. Yeah. He's made a not a brave decision, but he's done everything right. He's been advised to go to the monitor. He's gone to the monitor, and he's given what he's seen, which is like not interfering with play, not interfering with the line of sight of the goalkeeper. Goal stands. Great decision.
Great decision from both our pundits in the studio. Chris Kavanagh has given a goal against the advice of his VAR, a winning goal for John Stones and Manchester City. Their unbeaten run in the top flight is now 31. That is a club best. Let's head to the stadium for reaction with Michael Brown and our Nat.
City have done it. City have done it. 2-1. A goal in the last dying minutes here at Molineux. Brownie and I were right here pitch side when it went in, and we went berserk. Oh my God, how
we did
feeling?
For a bit.
And then we panicked, and then we went berserk again.
It was incredible, wasn't it? A moment we said this will make the ending here if they score right here just behind us, and then you never give up. This team don't. They just keep going. It wasn't the slickest of performances. Wolves sat in, defended for the lives, defended well. Then the controversy of the ending. It had everything, didn't it, in this Premier League game? Going to VAR, 1 minute it's in, then it's disallowed, and what's it going to be? Bernardo down, crouched down. They said it's not in the eye line, and the weight was there, and then the celebrations. The players come in, they were delighted to get over the line with that one. It was a tough afternoon of football, and to finally get that, John Stones yet again late on in the game managed to rise high, and then it was the weight. 1 minute the Wolves staff were saying no, it's not going to count. Then the City lot saying yeah, it's going to be. Then there was the wait, there was the drama as the referee went over, and then the celebration started.
And that man John Stones, how many big goals has he scored for us now? But it's exactly as you say. Yes, Jack. We fight to the end always. Something in this club, 78% possession, something like that. 20 odd on target. We deserved it, but the point is to go to the last
Just
second.
Look at Bernardo Silva here. That tells you the detail. They've won the game. It's like, no, I need to tell you now. This is what I need from you. This is what I expect. Bernardo saying, yes, please, give me some more. Big win in the Premier League title, that, Natalie. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're all good, mate. Hey, no, you're all good, mate. The insight, the things you get to see when you're down here. Now, we were right pitch side when the goal went in, so we haven't seen a replay, but we think that Bernardo was crouched down in front of the keeper. We'll just leave that for now because we haven't saw the replay, but we will talk about the game. Like I mentioned, 78% possession, I think it was the last time I looked. A mammoth amount of possession, a mammoth amount of passing the entire game. If City had not come away with the win today, I would have felt really frustrated.
I think everybody would have, but the counter-attack was there. They sat and kept the shape. Erling Haaland, we didn't see too much, did we? Because him and Dawson were just literally at it the whole game, and there was no space for him. So it's Pep's belief, isn't it? Patience. We keep working it, and then we'll go a little bit longer. The crosses come in a little bit deeper, a little bit quicker, and ironic, the set piece come in. Delivery was excellent, something to work on. And then it just went. The voice has gone. Everyone was just charging, celebrating. City fans behind us. When you come and watch football, the highs and lows, what it brings you. There was some staff from Wolves next to us saying, I can't believe that's happened. Then they cheered, then they jumped up. So, I mean, that was just an amazing ending to a game.
It was an absolute emotional roller coaster, and we're only about 8-9 games into the Premier League season, Brownie. If we keep doing this, I'm not going to last till the end of the season. My heart is not going to last for this. In terms of the game, did it change for you when Foden and Grealish came on?
I didn't think there was a huge change in the game. I think it was just tight. It was chess. I think I've got to give full credit to a Wolves team who have been conceding goals. They changed. They were hard to beat. Then they tried to counter quickly wherever possible and played in the right areas. City controlled it, that's for certain. We couldn't find a way through. So I just think that's a big win. You look at the situation, you go, how do you grind out results? What do you need to do to find an answer to win games? They found the answer. Yes, the ending was a little bit strange, but Wolves contributed. They'll be disappointed, but it's about going on the road and getting results. That's a title-winning performance.
Yeah, absolutely. The result feels even more important considering the Arsenal result yesterday, and we know that Liverpool are now following us. I'm sure they were watching that game very happy up until the last couple of minutes. They've got Chelsea now, and of course, we know that Chelsea have been exciting to watch this season. So given the result from Arsenal...
They'll all be watching that.
Yeah.
Do
you think they will?
Well, they'll all be around.
Okay.
The whole stadium will be filling up. And the players will just get a little inkling of what's going on and what's happened. There'll be a few TVs inside. They'll know what's just happened, and then they've got to go out and play.
Next game up is Wednesday, back in the Champions League, Sparta Prague. They've had a win and a draw so far this season as well, just like us. But back at home for the Champions League. Important to get that win and just let's get that qualified properly, top 8 position as fast as we can.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a big game. Champions League, we're all looking forward to that. But for me, coming out of the international break is a tough one. Get the result and then you can build from it.
And we got the result today. Honestly, my heart is still going. I'm going to see what my heart rate is on my watch in a minute because that was a lot.
On the road again now. After that.
Yes, please. Sorry, FG, I'm taking it now. Thank you so much for joining us from Molineux today, where City have won 2-1, and we are absolutely ecstatic. I need to go for a sit down back to the studio.
A well-earned sit-down, Nat. Michael Brown, thank you so much. I mean, I think we're all feeling the same. The heartbeat was going up, especially after the way that game ended. And we'll get into that in just a second. But as you can see, the Premier League table, as it stands, with Liverpool, half an hour from kick-off in their late Sunday game, Manchester City on top of the pile. Over to you, Arne Slot and Liverpool, as they take on Chelsea this evening. And City still unbeaten after 8, taking their long unbeaten run in the Premier League to 31 games, the best they've ever had in the top flight. And ultimately, it all hinged on that late decision by the referee to ignore his VAR. Now, look, Gary O'Neill last season hated VAR. He had a couple of very legitimate complaints against VAR. He's
very vocal about his
Wolves wanted it abandoned. They put forward a motion, let's abandon VAR. That's how much they hate VAR. Today, Keith, does Gary O'Neill have a case?
No, because I think the right decision was made. Again, VAR advised the referee to go and have a look at the monitor. The referee's gone and had a look at the monitor, so he's got all the evidence there that he needs, and in my opinion, he's made the right decision.
What annoys me is the VAR. They bottled it for me. They could have gone down. I'm sure the candidate's earpiece. No, it's a goal. He's given it. He's not disallowed the goal, and then they've made him make the decision again. And when they call the referee over to what they're saying, the commentator said 3
Ali
times
said,
out of 500.
And he remembered the names of the referees.
He remembers all the names.
It's so rare.
So I thought they bottled it and put it right back on the referee, and in that circumstance, I thought he was brilliant.
Yeah.
Really strong decision.
I think he'll be in the news, Chris Kavanagh, the referee, because Wolves, they may well complain. Gary O'Neill's very outspoken when he feels he's got a legitimate grievance. But from where we're sitting, Bernardo Silva is probably that tall. Jose Sarr is jumping. And when the header is made, Bernardo is down on his haunches at about the goalkeeper's waist height.
It bumped him, and then he got out of his way. He just got out of his way, and it went straight past him. There's no chance of it impeding him. But going back to Gary O'Neill, you have to be careful when you are berating VAR, berating the referees, berating the decisions. Let me tell you, if you're getting stick off somebody, if there's a decision going either way...
Ask my missus.
I will. But you just got to, people remember it. But nevertheless, it was the right decision. Yeah. So forget, he might feel that way. He might have influenced it somewhere or another. It was the right decision. It was a good decision.
How big a moment do you think that is in the title race?
Again, it's something for not something for Pep to build on, but it's a reinforcement of set pieces can win you games. You're going to get games where keep your discipline, keep your levels of concentration, because we can score goals, whether it's from a set piece, whether it's in open play. Again, taking it the other side of it, Gary O'Neill, he's got something to work with there. You can tell that level of performance, that commitment, desire, application that his team showed today against the best team in the country, i.e. the best team in the world. That's got to be a stepping stone. He doesn't want it now to be outshadowed by him ranting and raving about the official's decision. He's got a bigger story that he's got to be a part of now, which is rebuilding the confidence and the structure at Wolves.
Ahead of some winnable games, it has to be said. They're bottom without a win, but they've played, I think, 6 of the top 8 now, Wolves, but they've got a run of 9 games now with teams outside of that top
we've
6.
got Palace, Southampton coming up, aren't they?
They've got Bournemouth, they've got Everton. They've got teams that they can have a good go at.
At the end of the game, I thought he didn't go to the referee and berate him. No. I think he's looked at that performance. I think I'm proud of how we've played today. The only difference is when they're playing against the teams who they're expected to win against at home. They won't play like that. No. They'll have to be more open and more expansive and try and score.
Yeah, they certainly will. So we've mentioned Wolves' future games. We just flashed a graphic up on screen. We'll do it again. This is City's next 6. And this is quite interesting because if you count today, there's 7 games in the space of 20 days up to the next international break. That's a lot of football. All the members of the squad will need to be called upon. Great that Nathan Ake was back in the MatchDay squad. Still waiting for Kevin De Bruyne to come back. But you look at the bottom of that run, Spurs, Bournemouth, Sporting and Brighton across 3 competitions actually, 4 away games in a row. So it's not just the fact that the games are coming thick and fast. City are on the road. Yeah,
but again, they've got a squad. They travel well as well. They travel in the right way. Their preparation and also their recovery for games is excellent. And again, like I say, they've got Ake coming back, Kevin De Bruyne not far away, Kyle Walker not far away, and again, so you've got competition for places.
Yeah. Plus the fact they have about 60% possession in every game.
Not chasing the ball.
Well, they're not chasing it. I always think you look at the bottom teams who are chasing the ball. Those lads really would be struggling, but these are good enough to keep the ball.
Yeah, Sparta Prague in the Champions League on Wednesday, so the games will come thick and fast. It's nice to change the scenery, nice to have a packed Etihad for European competition, get the light show on and all of that. It's a different challenge for Manchester City.
The European games are brilliant. It's a long time since I was involved in one, but I was up at Celtic when it happened, and the night games, European games. And even more so now with the light shows that go on, they are brilliant. You're at the top level. Yeah,
and Manchester City are at the top level. And indeed, on top of the Premier League after a game that was different to how they might have expected it. They would have known they'd be up against a wall of opposition because it happens so often when they play against teams down the bottom end of the table, the sharp end of the table. But ultimately, it just wasn't falling for them and they had to keep going until the 95th minute.
Yeah, again, but probably before the final whistle, their goalkeeper would have got man of the match for the 3 great saves that he's pulled out. There was a few instances where balls bouncing around in the box and it fell very kindly for Wolves. I think Haaland had one half chance where...
They did a good job against him today.
Yeah, you got to. But he's defending with inside a shoebox. That's because they were defending that narrow. They funneled in, got that narrow, that tight. There was no space for him to work. But great tactic for him. They've denied him goal scoring opportunities today. Can they operate like that with that mentality, with that level of intensity in their play, in their defending? Because they're going to need to give themselves a chance of staying up this season.
Talked about pre-match goals not just coming from the attackers. Erling Haaland has 10 for the season. It's now 3 in the league that he hasn't scored. But in the games that he's not scored, the midfielders and today the defenders are stepping up. Gvardiol's goal was something else, wasn't it?
Oh, Gvardiol's was... Well, that was brilliant, but, John Stones will argue it was even better because he's the winner. But Gvardiol coming in on his right foot, never expected...
Do you think actually? Do you think?
I thought we were going to get a vision.
Do you think he does shooting practice? Do you think he actually steps inside on his right foot and practices bending them in the top corner?
I think he probably does because they show you on the inside, keep you off your left foot. Yeah. And I would imagine he does. I mean, he's got a wonderful right foot, for a left-sided centre back.
That might be where I went wrong in management.
Looks like an awful good player.
I should have got. That might be where I went wrong in management. I should have got my left back or my right back, cutting inside, bending them in the top corner.
Your centre halves, do it.
They'd have all been capable of doing it, Keith.
Yeah.
OK, so what do we think then? Wednesday night, Champions League. I'm sure the defence of Sparta Prague will be well aware of the fact that Haaland's had a quiet couple of games in the league, scored in the last Champions League game. They'll be thinking, oh dear, oh dear.
I think that they'll be certainly happy for the result, happy to get this game out of their way after the international break. Yeah. It always seems to scupper somebody the international break when they come back. And now they've got that under the belts, that performance out of the way, because it wasn't brilliant, but it's a win. I think they'll be ready for Wednesday, no question.
One final thought I want to make about the City Academy. So at the end of that game, Rico Lewis started the game, Phil Foden came on, and on the other side there was a couple of lads that came through the City Academy playing for Wolves in Carlos Forbes and Tommy Doyle. That's a real feather in the cap for this place. Yeah,
they're phenomenal. And it's like I said earlier on, I think, at the start of the show, maintaining that hunger in your academy and picking up good habits. It might not be that if you're in the academy here and you might be here 4 or 5 years, you might not make it into City's team, but the good habits that you pick up along the way will ensure you a better opportunity of having a career in the game.
I have an update from the Premier League. So
you got Delap down at Ipswich scoring goals as well, and Palmer at Chelsea was ripping it up completely.
Yeah. Everywhere you look,
some good
City
players.
Academy is ruling the roost. Look, we've had an update from the Premier League, actually. They've just tweeted this, so we want to show you this on screen. It's actually a slightly different version to the turn of events that we've understood it. So, the goal overturned. Stone's goal was disallowed on field because Bernardo was offside. Disallowed on field by the referee, Chris Kavanagh. Then the VAR deemed that Bernardo Silva wasn't in the line of vision and had no impact on the goalkeeper, and then recommended the on-field review. So our view of it, as we watched the game rolling out live, we thought that the referee had given it and that the VAR had said, no, you need to come and have a look at it.
That must have been the linesman then.
So on the field, the refereeing team, the referee and the assistants, gave that as a disallowed goal, and the VAR, hats off to them, brought him over to the monitor, and then Chris Kavanagh has been big enough to say, yeah, fine,
they disallowed it.
Decision.
They had disallowed it.
On-field disallowed, overturned by the VAR in collaboration with the referee. But that is an example of VAR working very well indeed. So we have to give credit where it's due. Yeah. And the right result has come to it, and Manchester City fans and Pep Guardiola and John Stones and all the rest of the team in light blue today will say the right result was settled on in the end. And I know that our 2 studio guests will think that the right result, a year late, has finally come to fruition. I think you can come back again, Chap.
Sorry, just let me just thank goodness for that. Yeah.
Will you come back again?
Yes.
No, maybe we'll pair you up again. You never know. We'll wait for
you. He didn't ask me. He just said we'll pair. He didn't ask me, did he? Absolutely.
Mick will be back, everybody.
I'm all over it.
Right, that is it for today's Matchday Live. Next up is a midweek Champions League night against Sparta Prague. Matchday Lives are going to come thick and fast. I told you, this is game 1 of 7 in a 20-day spell. Stay with us on Matchday Live. We've loved having your company. From me, Chris Latchem, from Mick, from Keith. Ta-da.
I mean, he was obsessed.
He was obsessed.
I was just obsessed with football.
He's turned into such an outstanding football player.
He's already one of the best players in the Premier League. I think the future is all his.
He'll be up there with the best players in the world.
He could be a Ballon d'Or winner. He sort of sat back and was like, wow, you're going to be a really special player.
He was doing all these magical things at such a young age.
Phil was the smallest one, but if he was on your team, you knew you were going to win.
He can be running for 90 minutes. He doesn't stop.
Phil in that game was he was the most Brazilian player on the pitch.
Genuine love for playing football.
Whatever he wants to achieve, he can get it.
He's just a lad from Stockport.
Statue next to yours as well.
You probably have a whole stadium for him.